I had no idea what I was going to do for Masterboard Monday this week, and then I remembered it's Kylie's birthday this week, so these Masterboards will be turned into paper doll dresses, and Thursday we'll be making the paper dolls. Hi, I'm Christine, the artist behind our list of designs, and I'm happy you're here. Welcome. Hi everyone. So I had an idea. I just put some gesso down, and I'm going to roll it out as I explain what I'm doing. So Kylie's birthday is coming up, and I wanted to do something fun that she'll have fun playing with, but without going and spending a bunch of money on toys that she does not need. I decided I want to make a set of paper dolls for her. And so maybe it'll be something that she plays with for a little while, and then hopefully she'll put it away and save it for, one day when I'm not around. Or maybe she won't. Totally up to her. And of course I'm going to do a set for Skylar, because they really just don't understand why they don't get gifts on each other's birthdays. So while they're young, I just like to have something for both of them, which I don't really buy them a lot of gifts, again, because they have so many things. So this is just regular Amazon packing paper, and because you have to let these dry in between, I'm doing several of these today. So whether you're doing what I'm doing with these, or you're just creating a background for, your junk journaling, or maybe a background for a painting like you've seen me do with my 5x7s. It doesn't matter. You could do so many different things. And so this morning I was going online to look to see if there's anything that I could do for Masterboard Monday that would help me get this project started. So, killing two birds with one stone here. I went online and I went on YouTube to look for ideas. And I think I've mentioned her before, and I cannot remember her name right now. I had it this morning. I was like, remember her name, so you can mention it. But I will put the video, and then, of course, if you want to follow her channel, I highly recommend it. 49 Dragonflies. And I was looking up paper dolls, and there was one video about collage fodder and paper dolls. So I thought that was pretty cool. And instead of using book pages, she used book pages in her video. Now, I'm going to go ahead and use some gesso on this, even though it's white, because I think it's going to give me a little bit of fun texture for later. That's better. I will have to tear these up and glue them on stronger surfaces so that they're nice and sturdy on a paper doll. Okay, I decided to go back and use some of the white. I'm really trying to use up this paper. So I decided that one of these is going to be, I'm going to use book pages. I really like spraying these. I know I spray most things, but I try not to forget these thicker book pages because they just go down so much smoother. And with these thicker pages, if you allow the wrinkles, which are great sometimes, it's very wrinkled. So anyway, so I decided while I waited for those to dry that I'm going to use up some of my scraps here and do one this way. So you've seen me do this a million times. I will go and do this off camera, and I will come back. Okay, I lost a big piece of footage. I forgot to turn the camera on, but I just wanted to show you that I'm just squaring off these edges with the book pages to make them, I don't know, maybe that's OCD. I don't know why I'm doing that, but I'm doing it. And I just am covering the whole sheet with book pages. And then, of course, I'll probably tear these up and then glue them to another stronger piece so that they're more sturdy and the girls can't immediately destroy them, although I'm sure they will find a way. But that's okay. That's the cool thing about making things in your, from scraps and ideas that you have is that you can always go back and make more. Okay, this sheet is covered, and look how beautiful that is. I mean, you could do so many things from this point. So, and I had an idea too. I think I might dig out some of their artwork, and hopefully they won't get mad at me for tearing it up, but there's so many pieces of artwork that they have in their little drawers. I don't think they'll mind. So I'm gonna put some of their artwork in the dresses of these dolls. Okay, back to the first pieces, and I'm just going to put some paint in there directly on it because masterboards are supposed to be easy and fun, and that's what I'm going to do. I don't know if that's too much, but we're going to find out. And I have a couple of these to do, so we can always use less next time. Ooh, this is really thick paint, which might not be a terrible thing, but I think I'm going to spray this a little bit, kind of loosen it up. It's kind of fun. I think for the second one, though, I will go back and put it in a container and loosen it up a bit. I'm going to add a little bit of gesso in here. And now I'm going to just kind of lighten it up a bit here with this gesso. Bring out some of that white again. All right. That's cool. I'm going to put a little bit of the lighter blue in there, maybe a little bit more. I can always pop the lid on and save it for later, which is why I love these little takeout containers. And we were at lunch yesterday. I had a little clip on my personal channel when we went to lunch. Bob was out of town and he came back in, and he usually says, "All right, I've been gone for a few days, I'll take you to lunch." And I jump at the chance because I love going out to eat. But I was telling him, he's like, "Why are you taking all of that when I didn't really need to take the," where's my water? "The condiments home?" And I said, "Because I wash them out and use them for paint." So I could go to Restaurant Depot and buy a whole sleeve of them, but why? And sometimes I use them a few times. Oh! Okay. Not a good idea, and I don't have my apron on. Okay, as you can see, I've made a big mess, but that's okay, because we're just gonna put a little on the paper and roll it out. And then I can put the lid on this and save it for another project. Let's get a little more blue in here, and my blue is still a bit clumpy. I got it all over my shirt. Definitely when you're mixing, so I'm mixing old paint, and it was very thick from the tube. And I probably would not use this on a canvas, but for this, it's perfect because I don't have to throw the paint in the garbage, and I can use it up. And even if, you know how that sometimes acrylic paint can get that funky weird smell, I just put a little drop of alcohol in it. I don't know that you really need to, but because I'm going to save this for another day and I'm adding water to it, I don't want it to get even funkier. So that's what I do. I don't know. Okay, so I think this one's pretty good. I'm going to add, I liked that little bit of gesso on top, so I'm just going to put a drop. My gesso is getting, whoa, that's more than a drop, but I like it. Oh yeah, I like it. So just play around with it. I like the Brayer. I was going to do something a little bit different than, gosh, I cannot remember her name, 49 Dragonflies, but I really liked the way the Brayer looked on her video. So there you go. There's that one. And I'm going to go ahead and stick with these colors for this, but I am going to go in and do some pinks and purples, and I want to do different colors on these so that all the little dresses are a little bit different. So, and I definitely want to do a little boy, so we'll have to go in and I'll do different sheets with different colors. Oh, I kind of like this with the stripiness here. This is kind of cool. All right. I think I'm going to do a little bit of gesso before I do the other color. I think I got a chunk in there too. That's okay. Just take it out if we need to. Yeah, that's cool. It's so fun to use this sprayer. I love it. Oh, look at that. Okay, we're leaving that. Okay, I've grabbed some of my favorite stencils. And here's the fun part. So I think first, I think I'm going to save this one for the pink one, which I'm not sure if I'll do that here today or not. But I'm going to start with some gesso because I want a nice, and you can use white paint if you want. I like the texture of a little bit thicker gesso. And I got my stencil brush here that I love. So I know some of it is going to go under there. That's okay. And I'm not going to go to the edges because I don't want a hard cut off there. And I'm just gonna, I'm dabbing it so I get most of this off so it doesn't go underneath. But that made it pretty clean because it's a little bit thicker, I think. That's why I like using the gesso. I guess you could use a thicker paint, but I also like that the gesso covers really well, but it also lets you still see what's underneath. So anyway, sometimes I use paint. You use what you feel like in the moment. And that's what you're going to do. Just go in and play around until you think, for whatever you're going to use this for, if you're not going to do some paper dolls with me, yeah, do whatever you feel like doing. So let's do, so on the blue, I'm going to do a little of this teal, or aqua, whatever this color is. So I'm going to go, because I'm doing the green, I'm going to go in a spot where there's a lot of blue, and I'm even going to go over a little bit of what I just did. And I should probably let this dry, but I'm not going to. So I just kind of want to make this look a little bit like fabric. All right, let's see how well this is. Cool, I like that. Okay, I don't want to do that, although I'm not going to worry about it because I can go back later and put something else on top of it. Oh, what I wanted to do is line this up, maybe right here, and then do some of these edges that were neglected. There. Okay, I'll show you in a minute that I played around with the other two, and I don't like how they came out, so I'm letting them dry, and I'm coming into this book page one, and I'm just going to do a little bit here and there, and I really like the way this one's coming out. And then maybe kind of brush over these corners a little bit to kind of highlight the book pages because I don't want them to completely disappear. I'm trying to make this look like fabric. I like that going over this with an almost clean brush is catching the corners of the pages. Like this is my favorite part. So I decided to go over some of them. And I'm going to keep this one simple because I did not like the way the other two came out. However, I'm going to stick with it and go back over those and do another layer and see if I can make them look good. But I really like these flowers. I like this. I think this is going to be sweet little fabric, and I'm going to keep turning my stencil to be sure that I don't end up with, even though I kind of want it looking like a pattern, I don't want the same thing over and over again repeating. That's kind of cool. I'm going to do just a little bit at the edge here in this corner. Pretty. Now I need a little up here. I love this little flower stencil. I will try and find it in my, I know I got this one from Amazon, so I will try and find that link. I got it so long ago. I don't know if it goes back that far, but I will try. All right, I think I'm going to stick with these and not do any more stencils on this one. I like that. Okay, so I think this is going to be a pretty little dress. So today was the first day of school. If I get photos before I post this, I will show you all the little kitties in their first day of school. Everybody was so excited this morning. Alyssa said Skylar was very excited, but she was being very brave, but she had tears in her eyes as she left, as Alyssa left her. But Skylar's a little go-getter, so she'll kind of stand back a little bit and assess the situation, and then by the end of the day she'll be running the show. I think she takes after me a little bit. I hesitate to go into places that I am not comfortable in, and I'll just, like when me and Bob go out, I tell him, find me a spot that I can just sit and kind of watch what's happening, and then I figure out what's going on, and then I jump right in. So I think she gets that from me. I like this one, and I'm going to leave it as is because I think these will make pretty little dresses, and we'll add some stuff on top of it after it's cut, and you know, like some little embellishments. So this will just be, I think I can get several dresses out of this, and I might even be able to get some, you know, some little bookmarks and cards and tags and stuff with the scraps. As for this little monstrosity, I'm going to take a step back. I'm going to bring it back and add my white as if we're starting from the beginning. And I'm going to cover a lot of this that we already did. Now some of it will show through. I'll intentionally try and go around some of it. I added a lot here, and I think that'll be good. I'm going to do the same thing for the other one. This one is not really that bad. However, I'm not 100% loving it. Everything I don't like, I'm going to put this over it. But this one's darker, so I think more is going to show through. We'll see. I'm going to go with these lines because I kind of liked that. Now I'll let that dry and we'll come back and try again. See, it's never a loss. You just keep on working. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. Because I don't want the other one to look too much like this one. We need different dresses. I took out my favorite blue, and I'm just going to put a little sponge here so I can kind of dab it off first. And we're going to make it look different. And this one, I think I am going to kind of create a little bit of a pattern. So it does look like fabric. So, oh yeah, look, that's going to be really pretty. I like it. So I'm going to overlap a little bit. This is one of my favorite colors. It's so pretty, and it still lets you see kind of what's behind it. So we'll get a little bit of that texture that we covered up, which is nice. Look how pretty. Okay, so I don't want to do too much of that. I have to remember not to do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to overlap, but I'm not going to go to the edge, so I don't get that little halo effect. I just want it to look like it's blending into the flowers next to it. Okay, that worked out really well. Here, let's get a little leaf there. So pretty. And I'm going to keep going on this, and then I'll show you when I'm done. So again, I'm trying to create fabric, but depending on what you're doing, of course, you can adjust and do something different. But I like these patterns because it does look like a piece of fabric. I can cut dresses or shorts or whatever, t-shirts. Okay, dress fabric for paper dolls number 2. I love this because where I did the stencils before, you can kind of see it a little bit in the background, which worked out perfectly. So you see, just keep layering until you get something that you love. And I really love this one. I would like to have a dress with this fabric, to be honest. Okay, I'm going to use yellow, and I realize that I've got a lot of blue in here, so I'm pretty sure that this is going to turn out very green, which is okay because I'm gonna let some of that green, ooh, that's green. I'm gonna go through and do random spots, and I'm gonna stick with this one. I'm gonna do random spots that are super green like this, and as that green comes out of my brush, out of the, you know, mixing with the blue, it'll get lighter and lighter. And then I could go back and go over the green with a brighter yellow and wash my brush out. But I thought I want to do something different because I want these dresses to look different. So I think this will be cool. And then I can go back and just do bright colored flowers over the top of it, maybe, is what I'm thinking. You think that would be cool? So give it a little botanical effect. See, it's getting a little bit more yellow. Let me wipe some off. And get more yellow. Cool. Doing some that's not so bright. Okay, I didn't know what to do with this, so I was going to cut out some flowers using my die cut, one of my die cut machines, but then I found this paper and I thought this would be cool to cut the flowers out and glue them on top of here, and then later I can trace around everything with the pattern that I'm going to use for the dresses. So I'm going to cut these out and come back and glue them on. Okay. I cut all these out. This was way more involved today than I planned to get, but I think it's going to be really cute, and I'm just going to randomly stick these down, and then I'm done for today. I will come back, and you know what, I think I am going to, I probably should have wet that. I think I am going to seal them because the girls are going to be quite rough on these, so I think I should wet these so they kind of stick on the paper better. So let me move these out of the way. Okay, that's better. I'm going to go through and go ahead and put the large ones down first so that I can distribute them evenly. And then I can go back and fill everything in. And it really does help to spray this thick cardstock-like paper. This is quite a thick scrapbook paper, so it really helps it to go on flat. And I'm super excited to get these finished to see what it's going to look like. So today I'll end with this and let these dry up, and then I will figure out how, and I'm not going to use a pattern or anything, I'm going to just decide what size. I want them quite large compared to the paper dolls that you get in just like a little paper doll book. So I'm going to do my own. It's not going to, there's nothing to follow, no guidelines or anything like that. Ooh, somebody's hot rodding today. I'm going to put this one over that little hole there, so that's that fixes that little problem. Also, if you can hear, Bob's out there mowing our dirt again, although it's not so much dirt anymore, it's a wildflower patch. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Okay, let's do these. Next, this is a little finer. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to just go in these random spots. I'm going to put a little more than what I need because that seems to be working better. I think these are going to be super cute, and I have other pages with pinks and orange, so I can do little coordinating outfits in different colors, maybe. I don't know. Here's this one. I think this is going to be super cute as a dress. This one's quite wet. I'm excited. So when I cut into this, I'll have to make a little template and then see where I want to place where I'm going to cut. But I think I'm going to get several pieces of clothing out of this, maybe a couple pairs of shorts and a couple dresses for the girls, maybe a couple of skirts. And then whatever's left, I will put in my scrap drawer and use it on something else like ATCs or you know, whatever it is that I need a background for. But we have this one that is just so beautiful. I just love this. It's so pretty. I'm so glad that we had so many mistakes because, you know, so many times that it didn't work out because there's a lot in here that I could have never done intentionally. That's why I love these Masterboards because, and why I don't get upset when things aren't going the way I want them to. And I mean, this was Amazon packing paper, and look how beautiful that is. So I think that's going to make the sweetest little paper doll dress. And then we have this original one. No, this was actually the last one that I started, and I like this as well. I wish I had a pair of shorts out of this. I love pattern shorts. If you watch my other channel, you'll see them a lot because a plain top and a pair of shorts, and I'm in a really cool pattern, and I'm good to go. So I think this will make a cute little dress and some shorts or pants as well. So tonight I will work on these and get them the dolls that I want cut out in a pattern, and then I will start designing the clothing patterns, and then I'll place them on here and cut them out. So Thursday, we'll continue this. So if you like this project, I hope you try these masterboards on your own. And if you're here from my personal channel, Christine Rooks, hi, glad you made it over. There was one comment about, I don't know what a masterboard is, but she was excited to find out. So I hope you made it over here today to check it out, and that you're not disappointed. If you like today's video, please like and subscribe and share it with somebody you think might like it too. And I will see you on Thursday. Thanks for watching.